Welcome to the Unfiltered Path Podcast, where we explore life's journey without the constraints of filters. In a world saturated with highlight reels, we dive deep into the true essence of individual experiences, offering listeners an uncensored glimpse into the triumphs, struggles, and transformative moments that define us. Our mission is to provide hope, inspire resilience, and remind you that every path, no matter how windy or rocky, can lead to growth and enlightenment. Join us as we navigate the uncharted territories of truth, and to be moved, be inspired, and discover that you're not alone on this unfiltered journey of life. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Duval, owner of Valüd Productions. And my company works to produce and implement video marketing strategies, proving to make you more successful with your business. And I'm joined with my awesome co-host this morning.
Hey, good morning and good afternoon, because this podcast comes out at 5 p.m. My name is Trinity Baker. I am a mindset coach. I have a passion for taking people out of survival mode and bringing them into thrival mode, allowing you to live your best, highest, amazing life that you love. And I am joined here with my co-host.
Hi, my name is Danielle. I'm the owner of Aerialist. I'm an Aerialist. That's a fancy term for performing suspended in the air. I'm also an educator, so I teach other people how to do it too. And today we are here with our wonderful co-host and friend.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bonny Rollender, and I am the owner of Ritualist Aesthetics Bar located in Portland, Maine. We offer treatments to address the signs and symptoms of the aging process. And also, we've kind of modified this a little bit, confused skin. So we handle things like, we'll do kind of more of the vanity type things like Botox and fillers, but we also address individual concerns with your skincare, and we do a lot around that. So we will assess your skin, we will type your skin, and then we will recommend treatments and at-home care so that you can look your best and feel confident in your own skin.
And Bonny,
tells you about your face.
Yes, our machine right over there. We have a client coming in a few minutes for that, so I have to take my gig out there, but good thing we're unfiltered.
Yeah. Sure. You know what, Bonny? I love your passion. I think your passion goes deep in you want everyone, not just women, right? Because we all have skin, thankfully.
Right.
It would be a very weird world if we didn't. You take your passion to the point where, I can feel you when you say that, we all should be confident and comfortable and embracing who we are, and having someone like you and all of your amazing staff and what you offer to be able to do that confidently and know that we're using the right products to be able to help us. Because, my God, walking into that drugstore and trying to find a product for you is scary city. And then you have no backup. You got no one to teach you how to use it. You don't know if it's right for you. And so I love that you're taking the guesswork out of that.
Yeah, we're really shifting a little bit. I mean, our business is 2.5 years old, and I think all of you know, as business owners, you have to pivot kind of as you go. And one of the things we've realized, first of all, we're in Portland, and Portland is barely a small city. It's almost like a big town. And there are a lot of competitors to us right now, and they're popping up every day. This is a little bit what I'm going to talk about, and where I think if I could get a bunch of nurses to listen to this, to really help guide them in when they think about doing this. It's not as easy as what they think it is. And I'm a non-clinician. I'm probably one of the only non-clinician owners of one of these types of businesses in the Portland area right now. But it's not like I can't learn. I mean, I managed medical groups for many, many years. I understand what's required regulation wise and policy wise. And, we're doing everything legally. And there are lots of individuals out there who are doing this right now who are not doing it legally. Anyway, that's one of my issues. I took a little bit of a divergent, but we have pivoted a little bit because there is a lot of competition. When we initially thought we were going into this to be a Botox provider, I would say Botox clients are probably only about 30% of our business. And I think because we're more of like a big town and there's a lot of competitors, a lot of people have a lot of different places to choose from. I just don't think that there are that many people in this area. I think we've almost saturated the area. I mean, I just don't think there are that many people who want Botox. So we said, okay, we need to kind of add to this and really think holistically and start treating people holistically around what their skincare needs are. And we just added an esthetician, and she focuses on what we call sculpt facials. So there's a place in New York City that we've had a client tell us about. It's called Face Gym, and it's like taking your face to the gym is kind of what they do. And this is. It's a sculpting, firming facial, and it's very massage heavy. She goes kind of on the inside and gets your masseters and that type of thing. And there are a lot of people that just want that. They don't want Botox. They want to have firmer skin and a firmer look as they age, but they don't want Botox. So that was one of our pivot strategies. And I agree with you, Trinity. I think that's really where that's the space we need to be in, because Mainers, most Mainers want to age gracefully and naturally.
Yeah, that's so true. So true. And I think that the more that we embrace that combination, right? So aging gracefully, embracing the aging process, because literally every single one of us here on earth are going to get older every single day. So we might as well start to embrace it, but in a comfortable way, right? And so, I have the previous position in makeup and skincare as well. But what I always message was always like, makeup is not here to hide flaws. It's not here to make you someone that you're not. It's here to enhance natural beauty. So I love what you do, Bonny, in your work and in your work at The Ritualist, is that you embrace people and who they are and to be their best selves with their skin, which I think is just I think it's cool.
So much to say on this subject.
I can't wait to hear what Graham has to say on the subject.
Yeah. I mean, I love the idea. I love the idea, just like the confidence and like being comfortable in your own skin. And like, personally, I haven't really done too much, but that's just me. But I love the idea. I've done more of the like deeper work, like spiritually, to get into that like comfortable confidence in my own skin versus like face washes or massages or things like that. But that's me, and I love it, because Bonny, you do an amazing job at what you do. And it's like, I was actually working with a client a couple weeks ago in North Carolina who offers some similar stuff, and we were just talking where there's a lot of people, like you mentioned, out there that they wanted to be that like plastic like look, and there's a lot of misconception around that, and you know what I mean. And I think it's just so amazing that you can still achieve that beauty and not like the social media that shows like, oh, it's got to be like this, is really powerful.
Agreed.
Well, few misconceptions. Botox is also a healing. So it can stop mine. I attest to that by putting in very specific places. I had a friend, God, what did she have? Her muscles always hurt her, and she gets up in her top spine.
Yeah. It's really good.
Try for it. If it's like the third month where she gets her like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A neighbor of mine, and just hearing her story about how little assistance, because of the negative like vanity kind of concepts, especially in Maine. If you go to Florida, this is a different conversation.
Exactly.
It's very
subtle.
Right.
like you said, they want their natural stuff, and I'm one.
Yep.
I can't even. But there is a stigma and a false sense of awareness around it because we're so like, we don't do vanity around here and there.
Right.
But it's actually really quite healing. Also, what I love is so much about your business is there are med spas around that are not nurses. They are not.
Well, that's illegal.
That's why you have competition, and you're right. People that are not in a position and they're selling things that are not accurate to how they're listing and taking advantage of the ignorance of the all-natural people.
Right.
And it's disheartening. I know of 3 locations off the top of my head, and it is just so devastating. But to have someone like you that's bringing the information from a full spectrum in a beautiful location, by the way, a wonderful staff, just as Trinity had said. You offer makeup. You're always advancing. And bringing awareness to the process, not just, hey, let me just make you look younger. You don't even go about it like that. I had super insecurities about my lips. I had like all these lines because I'm almost 40 and I used to smoke. So as a gift to myself, I knew I wanted to kind of unpump that. I went to one location and it was a hoax. So they irritated my lips for 2 days, and then it went back to normal. And then when I expressed my concern, I realized it was a dupe. They had like pretend liquid that doesn't even actually go in. You can think about it as simple as a tattoo. If you rub ink on you, it'll leave a mark, but it's not going to tattoo you. So it's unfortunate how many people are taking, there's like a couple $100 plus to get such procedure. So you actually fix the problem and it's just done. It's like, I don't have to go again. It's nothing. You can't even tell. It's my lips as they were given to me by God, but a negative habit took.
Hold on. We're going to move. We're on the move.
Awesome.
We are a traveling podcast. I'm not in traveling. And Bonnie, I know you want to bring this conversation to back to the entrepreneurship of this too, which is what I love. Former nurse stepping into entrepreneurship. I love personally that you offer a space and a path for nurses who want to get out of the nursing field or even want to step out a little bit, right? Because it's not, you don't need to full force go, hey, I'm not being a nurse anymore in this field, gonna go over here. But I love that you do that in a appropriate legal space with support and love and encouragement and everything they need to thrive.
Yes. But let's unpack that a little. This is where I want to talk. So we've been in business 2.5 years, and I have hired 7 nurses. 3 are still with us. 4 have self-selected out.
Yeah.
What I have noticed with nurses, and to your point, Trinity, I think there are nurses who believe that this is a good path for them, not really knowing what it means. And so what I've seen with most of the nurses is that it's like this trough of disillusionment almost. You know, they start out here and they come and they see me and they say, oh, this is my passion. I want to do this. I want to do this. And then I say, great, let's come in. We're going to get you trained. We go through a series of training. And what they discover is that it's difficult. This is a specialty. This is a medical specialty. And it's scary. And every single one has gone through the same path. Very, very excited, want to do this. They do their first few injections. They get a bad outcome, or maybe a bad outcome, maybe a complaint. And they say, yeah, no. Oh my gosh, I need more training. I need more this. I need more that. So then, okay, most people learn to do this. This is, and it's important to understand, this is a 1 weekend course. And you're certified to go out and inject. But the experience isn't there yet. I mean, you really have to be doing, all of these different muscle structures. You have to do this like 18, 20 times before You even feel comfortable that you're going to get the outcome you want. So that's kind of the path that happens. Then you get, they do this maybe for 6 months, and then they say, okay, well, it's time to do the lower phase. Well, that's advanced neurotoxin, and that's another $1,200. So got to go get training again. Then they're like, okay, well, I want to do lip fillers. Okay, great. Lip filler, another $1,200 for training. I mean, it is a medical specialty. And I think by the time, some of these nurses who have gotten this far, and also it's important to understand that most of them have full-time jobs. So they give me 1 day a week. So then it's not like they're doing the treatments that often. And then they realize, I can't do this. And so then they self-select out. I feel like I'm in a place right now. We've got 3 really, really good nurses. And, I invest my time in them, and we work together on training and all that kind of stuff. But it's been tough. It's been a struggle. I mean, a lot of people talk about, having issues finding the right staff and all that kind of stuff. We don't have problem finding staff, but it's difficult to get them onboarded and get them trained the way they need to be trained to be good at it.
Because you don't have that. I love what you just said. First of all, you just summed up entrepreneurship.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right.
But what you just said was people have problem finding staff. You don't have problem finding staff because they're not. They are entrepreneurs starting a brand new journey. And so you just summed up entrepreneur, the roller coaster of entrepreneurship, because we all get into it for very similar. We want the time freedom. We want the financial freedom. We want all of the freedoms that come with entrepreneurship. But you are right. The blinders are there when we go, sure, the freedoms are nice.
Right.
But entrepreneurship comes with so many balls and the training that we have out of pocket when we're even making money to pay for it.
Yeah. No kidding.
Real. Real.
There's a process, and we're doing it, and it costs this much. You're teaching people how to fish, not giving them the fish. You're also keeping your, at an ethical place. So I commend you for that. Your numbers are actually great. You're at it almost 50%. So in my opinion, nurses are so converting right now and creating a new culture for themselves. We have nurses on here all the time. So this is just, and I love how you were giving them an additional career option, and you're an entrepreneur, so you're outside of the business, so you can kind of, you're leading them like, hey, these are the steps, that's what they are, and we're going to do them right. And I think that's awesome. Like, I'm going back to school now too in June, and another couple $1,000, and you know what I mean?
I know. But I think it's interesting. What?
It's So there's going to be that, so you're doing great. If you follow it, I know some of your workers, they're gems.
Oh, I know. But it's just interesting. It's just interesting. And it's just the realization that they've spent all this money, and they're really not, they're still a novice. Mm-hmm. And in this industry, you're not out of the novice stage until you've been doing it for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
I mean, the people just with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it wasn't the right timing, but you gave them the steps. Like maybe some of those 4 people, half of them will kind of come back to it in some way.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, one of them just went back to the hospital, took a manager job. I mean, for her, it's easier to go into work and do something she knows. Yeah. Because I'm also expecting them to, a lot of individuals who get this work done, they have a connection with the injector. And I've asked them, go out and have your own Instagram account, promote yourself. Yeah. It's all about I can get you clients, but you have to get your own clients. That's really hard for them.
Which is what Graham, I am so thankful for Graham, because Graham taught me that aspect of being an entrepreneur, because it doesn't matter business you're in as an entrepreneur, you have to brand yourself.
Right. Yes. Have to brand yourself.
Exactly. 100%. I mean, No, go ahead.
I think just identifying it as a specialty skill and really like a specialty line of work, and that will kind of always require additional training, and approaching it from that kind of mindset from the beginning could help. And then the self-promoting, especially when they're just learning, we're all such in a reactive space. Thank God you're the entrepreneur, right? Like I said, you're outside of it. I think that's what's going to make you successful, believe it or not, is because you're going to be able to build them as a brand. They're not designed to see that. They're nurses. They're not entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
Look, I mean, they are yet. They are. You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're on their way to that side of things. But
Yeah. And so,
on the move again.
yeah, she is giving us a listen. If you're
Podcast.
if you're listening and you're not watching this on YouTube, head over there because you can tour the Ritualist right here.
I'm gonna go out in the hallway.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, we can come back to that mindset too, because I think that, there is a difference. Yes, this is all entrepreneurship, but there is a difference when you are like, hey, I'm going to open this business brand new from scratch, or I'm going to take a path that someone has built for me, which is what you're doing for them, but they still need that mindset training, which we've talked about doing because it is a mindset and they have to understand the entrepreneur mindset right from the get-go. Because if I think, looking back, like when I started my business, if someone would have taught me my previous business coming straight out of nursing, if someone would have taught me what I know now in that first 3-ish months of my business, I would have been even more successful because I learned that all on my own. And that was through failures.
Yeah.
Well, failures.
I think
Yeah.
we also don't like go, oh, I'm making a huge life change. Let me make sure my mind's right.
Right.
That now. I think COVID had to happen. And then we all kind of have a different approach to things, I believe. So I don't think even if you were taught it, you probably wouldn't have heard it. You know what I mean? Like, and by that, I think things are just slightly different. Graham, I wanted to hear, I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wanted
Oh, yeah, no.
how
I'm
facial Botox ladies can promote themselves online.
Oh, I mean, you mentioned a good point of just like there's the individual brand and then they're under the Ritualist as well. So like the ability to cross promote is pretty cool.
Yes.
And like it really does come down, like you guys are saying, to that mindset. Like it takes a special person to get into, whether it's like part entrepreneurship where they are kind of doing their own thing, but still under your brand Ritualist, that, it takes a time. There's always that, like in, entrepreneurship, you go up a little bit and then there's that like down curve in entrepreneurship that most people step off in that down curve.
Yeah.
And unless you keep pushing through, you're not gonna make it. I was actually watching a thing online the other day. It was just like, I don't know, some guy interviewing a bunch of famous business people, and some guy was talking about how he had a marketing agency that was doing like crazy numbers and stuff like that. And he was like, my first 4 years in business, I didn't even turn a profit. You know what I mean? Or like there's this other famous guy who was pulling in $1 million in revenue, or like $1.2 million in revenue, but spend $1.3 million in expenses. You know what I mean? And so he was technically a millionaire, but like wasn't really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was for like the first couple years in business. And so knowing that coming in is definitely something that, it self-filters out, like you were talking, Bonnie, like they self-selected themselves out. And I think that it takes a special person to be able to, and you've clearly gotten the special people that you got now, to be able to do whatever, so.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think, well, first of all, I think it's interesting, Graham. It's always good to hear your numbers. When I first went into this, I told my husband, I said, I'm not making any money for 5 years. That's what I heard. It takes 5 years to build something just ready. So we're at 2.5. I can at least pay
Yep.
my bills every month. I'm glad.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I went into it with the right mindset and knowing that I needed to have systems set up to keep us going. And
Exactly.
I think this thing for nurses is a whim. I think it's, they hear people talking about it, they think it's going to be lucrative, they think this, they think that. And it's like, it'll be lucrative when you're good at it. When you're doing films and you're charging top dollar and but the first few days, first few years, like you gotta
But that's everything.
It is.
That's all business. You know what I mean? Like you get into something that's most definitely going to be lucrative, but like it takes the skill and the training and all this stuff to get into it. And like you clearly found the people that you have now that are like pushing through and like want to make that their thing. And, I think that that's awesome. And it's their loss for stepping off early. You know what I mean? Like, I think, as an entrepreneur, there
about how it's when you first start, you're dropping off into the swing.
Yeah.
I've never really thought of it like that. That's the starting point. That is,
and then you go up, and then there's always another little dip, and then it's up.
Yeah, and I would agree, Graham. So it's interesting. It's kind of like what I was talking about with that trough of disillusionment. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The nurses are so excited at first and they're going to learn and they're going to do all this stuff. Then they realize it's hard work. Then they realize I won't let them wear a belly shirt to work because it's a fun job, not a serious job.
Yeah.
And then they don't document. It's like, what happens if you can haul it into court because you messed someone's face up and you have no documentation? Are you kidding? Yeah, this is a fun job.
Mm-hmm.
Unfiltered. This is totally unfiltered.
I love it. I love it.
But the thing is, the nice thing is that, I mean, all of you guys are in networking groups, so you understand. We're all doing it. Mm-hmm. No one else in my industry is doing that. And I know that every other business that is trying to start up right now and compete with me, they're going through the same issues that I'm going through. I know they are. There are not experienced nurses out there to hire. There aren't. So
in my industry,
I feel for them.
In my industry, it's the gym owners or the dance studio owners or like the initial point of reference. We get burnt out physically. And it's mentally too. It's just jarring, the burnout rate. That's why I found it slightly enlightening that you're outside of the industry, but not.
Yeah.
I think there's some sense to that.
Yeah.
And because the more I juggle the both, being the talent and the educator, sometimes it's a bit much and there's a burnout.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
I agree. I can see that. And I could see where you're a nurse or a nurse practitioner and you try to start a business like this and you're doing the work and you're also trying to grow the business. I can see where that would be really, really hard too. Because I devote full time as a business person to do this. I can't imagine offering services at the same time.
It's rough. Some days.
I think that, I mean, I was just talking to someone this morning. Like, I do think that that's like one downfall of starting a business in an entrepreneurial way, like solely, is like there's a lot of things in my business I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll be to the place where I could hire people to do it, but because I just want to coach. I just want to be on the stage. I just want to hear spreading messages. I don't want to do the invoices and tracking and like I just want someone to do that stuff for me. But it is pushing yourself because it takes push multiple times a day to be like, okay, I know I will get to the point where I can hire someone for this. So I'm going to send one more invoice. I'm going to post one more thing. I don't want to post my own. And so like, I know a year from now, maybe I won't have to be doing this, but I know that I'm going to be both hats. And you're right. I mean, I think there is this disillusion sometimes because we do make it look so easy from the outside. So I hope that the Unfiltered Path podcast gives people a glimpse into the real struggles of entrepreneurship not to say that you shouldn't do it, but to prepare you for doing it.
Yes, most definitely. I think that is, yeah.
There's definitely rewards to it all.
Oh, 100%. The rewards, the freedoms are absolutely amazing, but it takes pushing through. You said it best, Bonnie. It is like 5 years is like really like a solid number for where you're at, to really be turning a profit, like having systems in place, being able to step away, is a realistic number. If you're doing it before then, that's awesome. But like 5 is definitely, is
Just accept it.
where it's at. Yeah, exactly.
They have preparation. So you filing your taxes on your business have 2 years to have a negative amount.
Right.
Yep.
So they like prepare it in the tax world.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have these little questions, and I thought one was particularly cool, and it actually flew out. I've never read it, so I felt called to read it. So
Okay.
if you came with a guarantee, like so many products do, what could you honestly guarantee about yourself?
About myself or the business? Me?
It's a good one.
Like, about me?
Whoa.
So humbling.
You can always trust what I say. You can always trust me and what I say. To me, that is like, I've had so many instances in my life where I can give you this one example. We used to live in Arizona, and we bought a property, and we were going to build a home on it. And we actually ended up selling it and moving to Oregon before we built the house. But we were young. I was probably in my early 30s. And we sold the property believing one thing about the property, that there was a cinder block wall all around, and that was the actual line of the property. And so the person who bought it from us used that as being correct, proceeded to build their house, and found out that they didn't meet the setbacks, and they sued us for not disclosing that we didn't know. But I took that so personally that someone would not believe me. They don't know me from all the wall. Why would they believe me? But it was a really good life lesson for me that people who don't know me aren't going to trust me. But that, to me, if that were what I would say to your question, I want people to know that I have a personal guarantee behind what I say and what I do.
Yeah. That's a good one. That is a very good one. I like that. I know for myself, it's taken me a long time to build back my word, because for so long my word didn't mean jack, and it is come back, which is pretty cool, just in the way I have built things up. So that is important to me. But I'd say one of my big ones is the energy of, like, you can guarantee that you're gonna have some pretty positive, like, uplifting energy when you're chilling with me. So I think that would be mine.
I would attest to
that. For sure. Oh, Danielle, I see like a creative word in yours. I think mine is authentic conversation. You can always guarantee that you will have an authentic and it's kind of like a guarantee and a disclaimer at the same because I mean, I want to always be that authentic person when I'm speaking, because I want you to know that my compliments are authentic. I want you to know my advice is authentic. I want you to know my empathy and compassion is authentic. I don't just sit here and put this face on and give you advice and then turn the camera off or shut the phone off and it's like, oh my God, I can't. No, I'm always feeling like Graham said, it's like vibe, it's a connection. I want my to be a vibe and a connection. I want you to feel like it was authentic and purposeful. So yeah, I think and disclaimer.
That's awesome. I was like, facts. I believe people leave or come, well, I'll say leave or acknowledge, because maybe people don't necessarily have to leave my life to recognize it. But if you're in my existence, you will be changed.
I believe that.
Not be the same person you were before you meet me or spend time with me than when you walk away. Absolutely. And I do it, and it's like shifts. Like, and it's not always positive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I highlight sometimes insecurities in people by being on my authentic self. It's something I've really had to recognize. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. I also can see people at their highest potential, and that's uncomfortable for people, so they don't necessarily want to be there. And I walk out my own to show the proof behind that, and that can make people feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
And I change all the time. And so people who want you to say the same, that can be uncomfortable. However, for everybody else, I'm rooted within God. I live an intuitive and artistic life. So I change people in the most beautiful ways more times than not. And like, I change. It's just, you will leave changed.
I love that.
That's nice. I agree.
And that is just like, all together is such a beautiful world and such a impactful and inspiring concept too. And this is why we do this is why we do podcasts. This is why we are in the same networking group, because these are the people that we want to always be around, because that's what leaves us fueled as entrepreneurs to take that next step that is going to be scary and uncomfortable and uncertain. And I think that we need those things to keep going forward personally and professionally.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Nice.
I love it. So that leaves a lot for our listeners to ponder till our next episode. So I thank you all for listening today, and stay tuned for our next episode next week. And make sure you follow the Unfiltered Path Podcast, where all podcasts are. Hit like and share it and all that good stuff. And my name is Graham. Valued Productions is my business. You can find me online at valuedproductions.com, VALUD productions.com. Same with social media at Valued Productions. And joined with awesome co-host this morning.
Hello, it's Trinity Baker. Thank you so much for listening to us. I hope that you gained some impactful inspiration and just some guidance on wherever you are in life today. So I am Trinity Baker. I am your mindset coach. You can find me on my website, thetrinitybaker.com. Find me on all social media platforms under the same name, The Trinity Baker. I am here to inspire you. So go find me on a platform, start watching some videos, and get inspired. I'm here with my co-host today.
Hi, my name is Danielle. I'm the owner of Aerialist. I'm an Aerialist. If you're looking for tidbits on exercise, humor, because I like to do stand-up as well, and everything arts. I like to highlight my students. I like to show new moves, and I like to show off, because my number one rule to Aerialist is start performing, if that's your goal. So, because some people just do it for a magnitude of reasons, but start performing, share it, be proud of it, because it's inspiring someone else to express themselves. And it's so important that we're constantly expressing ourselves, so it's relatable. And I'm here with our beautiful guest today,
Bonny Rollender. Nice to be with you all. Owner of Ritualist Aesthetics Bar. You can find us at 75 Market Street in Portland, right behind Madewell on the first floor, if you know where that is. And we would love to have you follow us under the same name on Instagram and Facebook, Ritualist. And I'm wishing you all a beautiful skin day.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week on the Unfiltered Path Podcast.